now on the year. They've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And this team is absolutely playing their best football right now. This is the best that we've seen them play in a long time, partner. Sky's the limit as far as they're concerned. Their confidence really soaring.
And slow going there as they'll only get a yard, maybe, up to the 41.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
And we're going to see this offense try and spread the field a little bit and utilize the outside third of the field, especially against man coverage. But that time, the defense was up to the task, forcing the incompletion.
This will be fielded at the 17. A nice punt, but a good run back as well, 13 yards. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Here's Cousins. And right away, he lost the football. And the Packers pick it up. And some room to roam now. And he will bring this one back. A fumble return for a Green Bay touchdown. The pass receiver turned into a runner, then he turned into a fumbler, and it goes the other way for 6.
I love your description. Although for the offense, they're not too happy about it. But for the defense, what a big-time play for them. Never give up on anything. Sometimes you create your own points.
But the receiver, hard to fault him. He's just going for extra yards.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do, but you have to take care of the football.
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Taken in at the 3. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers, because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. Those defense for the Packers, they played really well in that win last week against Miami.
And I don't know what the actual percentages are, and I don't know the analytics when you create 5 turnovers or takeaways in a game. But coaches always said, when you create a number that high, your chances of winning probably up over 98%. I haven't seen that number quantified, but I believe them.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
So many times we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
This is taken at the 18. A good return there, 17 yards. And it'll be Packer football here, 1st down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And they, if you just look at this game, Charles, on paper, they've got the edge, no doubt. They're hanging around the top of the NFC. On the other side, you got a squad that's towards the bottom of the NFC. But when we mentioned that to the coaches, they were having no part of it.
Yeah, and I like how you said when we mentioned it. In fact, I mentioned it, and I upset them a little bit, didn't I? Because they wanted no part of that one, and I was reminded, like a 5-year-old, this is the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. They are guarding against the upset.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. First carry now for A.J. Dillon. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down. It's rare that a man his size can't at least push forward for a yard, but they stopped him there for nothing.
You're talking about tiny? You're talking about the little guy back
Tiny.
there? That monster. Yeah, you're exactly right. And it takes a group effort to get a guy like that down and not let him find some space. The first guy in, he's got to take one for the team, right? Because he's just waiting there and holding on for everyone else to help him out. How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a fourth down. Well done.
O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away. There, this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Cousins now. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, trying to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And this will be a Vikings first down as he's able to get this up past the 40. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
They run again on first down. Cook. And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks. Give him a yard up to the 42.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
On 2nd and 9, Cousins. We're looking for Jefferson, but this is intercepted. Picked up by Jair Alexander. And the Packers are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. So problems with errant passing continuing. Remember, he threw 2 picks in the loss last week, and now another here in this first quarter.
And sometimes, partner, this is the result of a quarterback who's simply trying to do too much. Feels like he's trying to make up for what he did last week. And you can't do it all on one throw.
They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, these two teams, they met up way back in the season opener. And it was the Packers who won that game on the road, so they'll be trying to win the season series here at home in Lambeau. On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. And this is caught. Mercedes Lewis with a grab. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. To throw, it's Rodgers. Open man, here's Cobb. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards. That's a catch of some significance. It's number 631 of his career, and why that's significant, it ties him with Hall of Famer Raymond Barry.
Who was one of the most precise route runners at any position during his time in his career. So I think that we're seeing something very similar here. He may not have known Raymond Barry, but he goes about his business to say, touchdown, Packers! Allen Lazard, his 14th touchdown now of the year.
And the Packers have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Early on, they have all facets of the game working in tandem.
Yeah, you get the defensive touchdown early to give you the first score, and then your offense piggybacks on top of that and gets their own. And any coach we've ever talked to, we've had that conversation with them prior to the game, they always say, you know, if we can score on defense or special teams, that gives us like a 95% chance of winning the game. I don't know if that number's correct, but it certainly does tend to play out that way, doesn't it?
It does. Crosby on now to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Throwing is Cousins. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Take it at the 37. A beautiful fake. And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 as they've got it to the 28-yard line. On play action, now Rodgers. He's got Watson. It's caught. Touchdown, Packers. A great effort there. 28 yards. And the Packers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. PAT would extend their lead, but there is a flag on the play, so they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. His throw incomplete.
Well, the best don't mind making tough throws, but that was a real difficult one right there. Out of the pocket, trying to beat double coverage. More times than not, that's going to end up as an incomplete pass, if not worse.
2nd and 10, a very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. Well, sometimes it's hard to take your eyes off this guy at the linebacker position. He can really cover some ground, and he did there to make that play.
And one thing about a play like this, if it's slow to develop, it can turn out poorly. And this play was definitely slow in developing, and that was one heck of an effort to sprint over there and get the man down before he could make anything happen.
And the next-gen stats tell the story as he was traveling at better than 19 miles an hour. This offense so far on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
He had his eyes on the end zone. He got close. At least he set the offense up nicely, but he's probably mad he didn't take that one to pay dirt.
I agree with you, and you know he's going to get teased because he didn't get it all the way into the end zone. But if they don't score now,
and he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. A.J. Dillon, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. And the Packers continue to pull away here in this first half. Crosby with the extra point, and the rout is on here in this first half. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Cousins to throw it. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end, and he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
And that's why defensive coaches preach swarming to the football. It's usually going to take more than one guy to get that big man down.
And it did right there. Multiple broken tackles, but they eventually get him down. 3rd down, Dalvin Cook. And Cook was fighting for it, but I don't think he got there. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Now Cousins on 4th down. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
And I think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me, that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you're throwing this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
Now a draw play. This is Jones. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They wind up losing a couple there, so they go behind the original line of scrimmage, and now 3rd and 11 coming up. On 3rd down, here's Jones. And they'll get this across midfield, but not nearly close to a 1st down as he stopped at the 48. They'll get 6 there on the run, but it brings up 4th down. So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. And only able to get this to the 5-yard line. Bit of a mental breakdown there. Not sure why he left the end zone. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
Back near the goal line, Cousins. Oh, and this is going to wind up a safety.
Right now, they're just trying to get to halftime because they need a break. This game, it's been a shellacking in every way, and they just got driven backwards for a safety.
After the safety, remember, they also need to give up the football, and here's the free kick. That's taken on the 25. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well, so that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field is still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
On 2nd and 11 now. Rodgers setting up the screen here. Aaron Jones. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And they will bottle him up behind the line, and now will they use a timeout? A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Rasul Douglas picks it. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. And that one is going to sting. First play of the 3rd quarter and a turnover.
And you have to know that at halftime, they spent a lot of time going through their checklist of what they wanted to accomplish to start this 3rd quarter. Turning it over like this was not on that list.
Not at all. And you come out of the locker room trailing, so that first drive to establish momentum is very key.
Crucial.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him. Now look out, Rodgers lost the football. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect him.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. Boy, an effective play there, getting their wideouts involved in the run game.
And what they're always hoping on that type of a play, that they can get to the end of the line and have a chance to turn it upfield as he did there. That means they controlled the blocking and took care of the defensive end of the outside linebacker to give him that lane.
And I guess I need to clarify, I said getting their wideouts involved in the run game, but of course that was actually a pass as he popped it forward.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. Just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Play 3 of the drive not as successful. They go backwards after those 2 first down gains. Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Cousins. Open run. And now a fumble. The ball's out, and the Packers pick it up. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. And last time, the fumble, the turnover. Now, they still have the lead, but I don't think coaches care. The turnovers will bother them no matter what the scoreboard says.
That's the relief that you still have the lead, but coaches look at what if and what it should be. turning the ball over when they get a chance to score more points and increase the lead, that's what's going to affect them.
And they're also thinking to future weeks, maybe when the game's closer, right?
No doubt about it. You want to clean up everything. Let's just be honest about it. They want everything to be perfect at all times. They don't want to give up anything that's going to hurt their team.
On second down, Dillon. And some room to work. 56 yards rushing for him now, just his first 3 carries.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. An inside give to Jones. 50 move and able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
And he powers through the first wave, but he's going to be swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Now from the 7, here's second and goal. Rodgers going to give this one to Dillon. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to third and goal.
I have to laugh a little bit because he actually handed it off. I thought with the 2 touchdown passes he's thrown in this one already, he'd go ahead and fling and try and get a third one.
Yeah, now from this spot on third down, I think he'd probably throw it here.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. They won't even send in a running play here, I don't believe. I think they go ahead and try and throw it for a touchdown.
They'll try and run. Dillon. 6 yards puts him right on the doorstep, but now it'll be fourth and goal. You know what? I know it's fourth down and they've got a big lead, but go for it.
Yeah, and why not, right? Because they have the big lead. But don't you have to have a little bit of admiration for these guys on the defensive side of the ball? They've been shoved around this entire game, and they're making a nice goal line stand here. It would be fun to see them stop them on fourth down, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's like putting whipped cream on broccoli at this point.
So what you're saying is they're going to go for it on fourth down. They're going to get it, aren't they?
I would. Well, after that last sequence, they're sitting pretty comfortably. They force the fumble, get the field goal, and expand on that lead here in the second half.
And don't expect them to rest on their laurels after that kick either. They'll keep their effort up until the final whistle. They don't consider any lead safe.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
His impatience has to be bubbling over, trying to find a way to get his team to the end zone for the first time. He did find a way to break, contain, and get outside to buy his receivers a little extra time, but the connection couldn't be made on that throw.
Got an open man, finding Jefferson. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Give them 22 there on the third down conversion. Well, still in the third quarter here. Now, you look at the scoreboard, that deficit probably a little too much to overcome. But completions like that may be something to build on for future weeks.
Yeah, it's all about ending things on a strong note here, isn't it? Because my mindset is it's a new ball game from here to the end. make sure it's a good one, and close it out.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Darnell Savage.
And the Packers are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. Well, that is now his 5th interception thrown in this game. And, Charles, you've got to tip your cap to this defense. I mean, they have been so impressive reading these passes, stepping in those lanes, and picking them off.
Yeah, sometimes the best offense is an excellent defense, and they've done exactly that. What do you think, partner? A season's worth of highlights in just 4 quarters? I think that's what we're seeing from this group.
Stop behind the line made by the safety that time, Lewis Seen.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty, but when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
On 2nd and 12, Rodgers. This is caught. It's Christian Watson. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They've let these receivers run wild. And here's another completion for good yardage.
Before they can snap it, time runs out on this 3rd quarter of play. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Now a first down carry by Jones. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. They'll go again to Jones. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Now a play fake. Rodgers. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other. But it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. And boy, showing how tough he can be to bring down, just fighting his way forward to pick up 7 yards.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Cousins going to bat it forward here on the jet sweep. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
Now, they did get a little gain on this play, but all in all, a nice job defensively against the touch pass. They were able to string it out towards the sideline and never let him get the corner and turn it upfield for a bigger chunk of yardage.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
Fourth down, field goal try coming, so Cousins is off, and on comes Greg Joseph from Minnesota. And that is no good.
It's been a nightmare season. You're well under 500. Your defense hasn't really kept in a lot of games, and now it's spilling over to the kicking game. That's 3 points you've got to be able to bank on.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And he'll take this to the 32, a gain of about 3.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
On third down, here's Dillon. And he won't quite make it. He needed 6. He got about 5. Fourth down.
This team doesn't mind running the ball in any situation, and I thought he was going to get the first down the way the play developed, but the defense closed in and stopped him just about a yard short.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Oh, he's going to go ahead and field it from the 3-yard line. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. A loss on that play, and now third down gets tougher, 3rd and 6.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. On third down, Cousins. And now here's another interception. Rasul Douglas picks him. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. On the delay, Jones. Oh, nice move. Down he goes at the 10 with a solid pickup of 8. Well, they'll take that every time with a lead. First down, fourth quarter, getting 8 yards. You love that.
They will take it, and you have to ask the defensive guys, why did you give it? I mean, you know the situation. You're down, have to stop them, have to get the football back, but 8 yards on first down puts them back on their heels.
So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. 2nd and 2, first down marker at the 8. Again, it's Jones. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 63 yards rushing for him now as he's done it on 19 carries. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
They'll run here with Dillon.
And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. So the rushing touchdowns continue to stack up, CD. That now 15 for him on the year.
And give him a ton of credit for staying healthy, being a smart runner, and it's showing just how important he's been to his team. He's got to be their MVP at this point in the season, and those votes may even turn into league MVP votes when it's all said and done.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a 4th straight loss. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Cousins. And this is what here? Incomplete, they say. It looked like it was intercepted, but he apparently did not get the 2 feet down inbounds. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
And that one's incomplete. 3 seconds left, and barring a penalty, this next play should be our last. And they will take a knee here. So it's all over. A Green Bay victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good